Are you worried about developing a dowager hump? Did you know that the dowager hump is not only preventable, it's changeable up to a point. There is a point of no return when your spine becomes very rigid, almost like cement, and the changes start to become permanent. The hump is a combination of osteoporosis combined with bad posture and spinal neglect. Let's start with the osteoporosis. This is always going to be a battle, and it has to start with diet first, eating things that are rich in calcium and avoiding things like soda. Soda is something that many nutritionists refer to as osteoporosis in a can. You just can't drink it anymore. But even more important becomes weight-bearing activity, including and especially weightlifting. By stressing the bone, your bones actually become stronger. So if you think that, well, I have osteoporosis or my bones are too soft, that I should take it easy, it's totally the opposite. You have to get stronger. You have to stress that bone to get it stronger and work on the osteoporosis. Now, bad posture comes from our everyday activities. It's things out of balance. When you spend a lot more time hunched forward, your body now starts to change that way. If you think about it, you are basically training your body that this is the position that we want to be in because we're going to spend the most time in this position. If you spend time hunched over your phone, hunched over your desk, hunched when you eat, hunched when you drive, your body says, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. And it starts to shorten the muscles in here and lengthen the muscles in the back. The spine starts to round, becomes more rigid. That's the formation of bad posture. Now, if you combine that with osteoporosis, those bones, instead of being more like a square, they start to compress. It's called a compression fracture, and it's not really a fracture per se, but a compression in the area where the bone starts to change shape. Once that bone changes shape, the osteoporosis and the hump really starts to progress and pick up speed. So let's say we have bad posture, and now the osteoporosis, there's a great amount of strain, it starts to change shape, and then one vertebrae starts to compress. That creates even more strain, and then another vertebrae starts to compress. Over and over again, you round, and then you start to look up, and now you've got a hump. If you're starting to feel that pressure up in here, a more pronounced area, it means it's starting. But if you're under the age of 40, it's very preventable, and if you're over the age of 40 and you're developing these things, it's the time to take action is now. Now let's talk about spinal neglect. Now, this is what a vertebrae should look like. So we've got nice smooth surface all here in the front, good healthy disc, right? No problems there. Now this is what happens with spinal neglect. You start to see the bone spurs start to form and less space in the disc. Now if we compare those side by side, it becomes very obvious. Now the crazy part about this spinal degeneration and this spinal neglect is it can happen without any symptoms at all. You can go from perfect to bone spurs and problems without ever feeling a single symptom besides perhaps some stiffness or just a decrease in your range of motion. Things that you're probably already experiencing and things that you don't have to be experiencing. So that osteoporosis combined with the bad posture creates an additional amount of stress, but the spinal neglect is what really gets you. Now, spinal neglect is 100% preventable again through chiropractic care. What we do as chiropractors is that we get in there to the spine, we find the areas that are misaligned, and then we help move them back into place. When you restore that normal movement of the spine, what happens is blood flow starts to increase, and it makes it so that degeneration stops right in its tracks. Degeneration can only happen when that vertebrae has become stuck, misaligned, and has not moved for a long period of time. Therefore, encouraging movement, allowing your spine to move and function the way it's supposed to, can stop degeneration. Now, it used to be that I did not expect to see degeneration in anyone over or under the age of 40, but that has been changing. Now, if you think about these little kids now are growing up with iPads, they're growing up with the phones, they're spending more and more time hunched over their phones and looking down. They're experiencing greater strain on their necks and upper back and bad posture at increasingly early ages. What they're finding now is even 30% of 20-year-olds we can now find spinal degeneration forming already for them. This is a bad trend. It's a bad trend that tells us that it's only going to get worse if we don't start to take action. Preventing the hump, improving our posture are very important ways to increase our health. In our office, we are very focused on posture. We want to help our patients not just feel better, but look better and have better health. That means that when you come in, we're not just going to start adjusting you. We want to make sure that we find out exactly what's going on with you, take any necessary x-rays, and our treatment plans include chiropractic adjustments, but also specific posture exercises that you can do to help get lasting results. Because after all, it does no good for you to feel better this week and then have all the same problems come back the next. So we believe in fast and lasting results by including and focusing on how you can change your posture and how you can prevent that hump from happening in the first place. So don't worry about having a hump if you take action now. Schedule a consult at our office. I'd love to find out if I can help you have better posture and have better health.